is a new segment I'm trying as well. It's called My Thoughts. I don't know what to call it, but it's just I have random shit go through my brain all day, every day, and I'm kind of looking for like a voice journal, right? So that's what these are gonna be. I'm gonna try to do this at least once a week, just kind of like a what's on my mind. And today, what's on my mind is, I'm just thinking, I'm like reflecting on everything that happened this year and just how fast the news cycle seems to be, right? Like, I think this was technically last year, actually, but let's say year to date. Okay, or that's not a good. I don't know. Within the last year or so, okay? I'm thinking back to like the submarine thing, right? That was all over the world. It was a huge story for like a couple days, and they grabbed everybody's attention with it, and a couple people died. We don't really know what happened there. And simultaneously, there was some bullshit going on with Hunter Biden and the FBI that just kind of got put behind the scenes there. And then you start fast forwarding to everything else and just how quickly it falls out of the news. I mean, we had school shootings that were, Michigan State had one, there was one down in Texas. Like, they're in the news for like 2 days, and then people blow the shit up for like 2 days, and then it's forgotten about. Going back even further, there's the way we exited Afghanistan. I mean, there was literally people falling off of fucking airplanes, man, and the way we handled that whole situation was so bad. And I don't think there's anybody on either side that really agrees with how that was done. The videos speak for themselves, but yet, like, we just don't even talk about it. It happened, and then it was done and over with. But it, like, there's no recourse. Nothing happens. It's the Trump assassinations this year. Like, we didn't look into that at all during an election, and now he's the president, but we didn't look into it at all. Who was this guy? They're like, okay, he was a guy that was in his 20s or whatever with no social media presence at all. He's the only one of his generation to have absolutely no online footstep. I mean, come the fuck on, man. And then we're not investigating where he came from, anything about him. There was a accelerated or a hurried cremation. Like, they got rid of the bodies. You can't do an autopsy. Why? Why did that happen? Why are we being turned away from that story? And I'm sure, I mean, if I was in the position that Trump is in, I would probably reopen that whole thing and want to know what the hell happened there. And hopefully they'll blow the lid off of it. But I got to tell you, I don't have high hopes, because regardless of the sides, like, it's just a bunch of bullshit. And the bullshit is so frequently handed to us that we have become accustomed to it, and we consume it for like a day or two, and then it's just gone. It's mind-blowing to me. The news cycle is crazy fast, and I know that's because of the internet and how much access to information we have, but like, there's stuff that just happens that just disappears. I mean, the other day during the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight, the entire world was watching that, which, here comes a little conspiracy, but I mean, that fight was moved to conveniently the same day that the audit for the IRS and the U.S. government, like, what? Right? Or no, it was the Pentagon. Sorry, I misspoke. It was the Pentagon. The Pentagon's audit happened the same day of the Tyson-Jake Paul fight, when everybody in the world was looking over there. And they failed their 7th audit in a row and couldn't account for like billions and billions and billions of dollars. Yet if you don't pay $17 on your tax return and you get busted, you can technically go to prison for that. And it happens. On purpose and on accident. Civilians get busted for tax fraud all the time, and they get held accountable. But when the government does it, we do nothing. And that happened, and a whole bunch of people don't even know it happened because we were being distracted by some fight that was complete bullshit to begin with. And I don't know if they're related or correlated, but the truth remains that we were all watching that instead of what's going on in the world. And like, when the Romans fell, the same thing was happening. They distracted them with circuses and Colosseum events and all this stuff, like constant entertainment. Look over here, while this craziness is actually happening. You know, I mean, we don't even, people talk about Ukraine a little bit, like the money being spent and stuff, But I would wager 99% of people have no idea of the actual nature of the conflicts happening there right now and how many people have died, how many people are involved, how involved America actually is, what we're contributing to that war. And I mean, just literally days ago, again, the Biden administration, the current administration, like heightened the conflict for what seems like no other reason than to leave Trump a mess, which is just fucking disgusting. You're using taxpayer money to do that, and it's a politically motivated action. You could, I mean, show me the case that supports that's not what's happening. I'm open for discussion there, but from what I've been seeing, it was unjustified, and the timing of it is just way too coincidental for me to buy that it was anything besides that. But yeah, here we are, like a couple days later, no one's talking about it. So, what's crazy to me is how quickly information is cycled in and out. And there's so much misinformation, and people can't even distinguish the truth from a lie, myself included. Like, we're all victims of it because you don't know what to believe anymore. I think that says something. Maybe that's a good thing, that we're at least at that point. Like, credibility is harder to establish now, and maybe that will result in a good thing over time. I don't know. But it's just, it haunts me thinking about this stuff. I just can't believe how quickly things go in and out that are, like when JFK was assassinated, I mean, Lincoln, right? Like, that's still talked about today, and like assassination attempts on other presidents are still talked about today. And like during an election cycle, we saw countless sabotage attempts from one side, and then after all those failed, like the fucking felony charges and all this stuff, like what I mean by failed is whether he was guilty or not, it was a politically motivated trial. There's no denying that. And it had like a reverse effect of what I think they hoped would happen. So it seems to me like after all that happened, that the last ditch effort was to kill him. And I know that I can't be the only one that sees it that way, and I know that some people probably think I'm nuts and a conspiracy theorist for saying that. And maybe I am, but why isn't it being investigated? Like, why aren't we even considering that? Like, it doesn't make you a conspiracy theorist to ask questions and wonder, right? Especially when, to disprove a conspiracy, the easiest and simplest thing to do is just go to the root of the source material. And if you can show it for what it is, then you debunk the conspiracy right there. But you can't, because they buried it. They destroyed all the details, and they burned the body like as fast as they could. Why, dude? I mean, it's just weird. It's weird. And we're talking about the president of the United States. Like 70 million people voted for this dude, and he was almost killed on national TV in front of the whole world. And like in the blink of an eye, we forgot about it. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, so those are my thoughts today. Not real constructive. I just, it's like, just kind of want to journal what goes through my brain today, and that's the one that was bugging me today. So, anyways, let me know what you guys think. Leave some comments below. Let's open a conversation. All right, y'all. See ya.